Welcome to Tech Pulse by iTro Digital, your go-to podcast for top-notch news, in-depth analysis, and valuable insights. We dive into the latest trends, groundbreaking innovations, and key developments shaping the tech landscape today. Tune in and let's discover the future together.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Forget the crystal ball gazing about connectivity's future in the region. The latest data, well, it paints a really clear picture. We're seeing this dramatic shift away from old tech, happening faster than many predicted.
Exactly.
Today, we're digging into the Postal and Telecommunications Authority of Zimbabwe's Sector Performance Report. This is for the second quarter of 2025, and we'll be comparing it quarter over quarter to really get a sense of the speed of this digital transformation.
Yeah, our mission today isn't just to read out numbers. We want to interpret the strategy behind them. We're looking for the core trends, focusing on things like efficiency, investment, and just how quickly people are moving to digital across mobile, fixed lines, even couriers.
And right off the bat, some of the top-level numbers are, frankly, startling.
Yeah.
We've basically hit full saturation on mobile. Active subscriptions are past 100% penetration now.
102.64% to be exact. It's quite something.
And people aren't just getting connected, they're using it. Internet penetration jumped significantly.
It went from about 76% up to 81.83% in just 3 months.
But here's the real indicator of behavior, I think. Data traffic. Total mobile internet traffic shot up by over 17%.
Yeah, a huge leap. We're talking going from 114 petabytes to over 130 petabytes consumed. That tells you streaming, video.
Yeah.
It's not niche anymore. It is the market.
It's structurally embedded now.
Absolutely. And the mobile network operators, the MNOs, they see this. Look at their spending. Capital expenditure wasn't just up.
It exploded.
Right. It skyrocketed by 261%. This isn't just keeping the lights on. This is a massive bet. Billions of ZWG on data being the future, and maybe voice. Well, voice fading out.
It's a definitive statement.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, even physical mail-in packages are up. Postal and courier volumes jumped almost 39%.
Yeah, that one's a bit of a head-scratcher. We'll definitely circle back to that physical paradox.
Okay, but let's start where the big money and the big usage is. That mobile data surge. So overall, active mobile subs climbed by about 1.23%, adding nearly 200,000 users. That gets us to just over 16 million.
And the market dynamics are interesting there, too. Econet gained a bit more market share, up 1.76%.
While Telecell continued its slide, losing another 5% of its base.
The momentum is pretty clear. But let's unpack that voice traffic thing you mentioned. It's a bit weird, right?
Yeah, subscriptions are up, but total voice minutes barely moved, just 0.40%.
And crucially, calls within the same network, that net-on-net traffic, it actually declined by 0.5%.
Right. More users, flat overall voice, but fewer calls staying on the same network. What does that tell us? Is network loyalty just evaporating?
I think it signals that the reason for net-on-net, the cost saving, it's disappearing. Because look at the flip side. Calls between different mobile networks.
Interconnect traffic.
Yeah, that grew almost 10%. So it suggests the price difference isn't a big factor anymore. People just call who they need to call, regardless of network.
Makes sense. Convenience over pinching pennies on calls now.
Exactly. Oh, and another positive sign? International visitors using their phones here, that inbound roaming, spiked to nearly 25%. So connectivity is robust.
Okay, but back to the main event. Data. Mobile internet traffic, up another 14% this quarter alone. That 130 petabytes. What's eating all that bandwidth?
Well, it's not just more people online, it's what they're doing. The report is explicit. 1, massive growth in consuming data-heavy content.
Streaming, basically.
Yes, they specifically call out Netflix, YouTube, TikTok, high bandwidth stuff. And 2, it's the supply side. The continued rollout of high-speed networks makes that consumption possible, even encourages it.
Build it and they will stream.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And they are building it fast. The number of 5G base stations jumped almost 37% in the quarter.
Wow, 68 new 5G sites in 3 months.
Yep, heading 252 total. And they're not forgetting LTE. Either 4G saw 246 new base stations deployed. The focus is clearly on speed.
And that speed translates to cash. M&O total revenue grew over 9%. Reaching ZWG $6.71 billion. That's solid growth.
It is, but what's really impressive is how they managed costs. Aggregate operating costs actually went down.
Down by how much?
By 5.47%. So you've got revenues climbing and costs falling. That does wonders for your efficiency.
No kidding. What did that do to the cost-to-income ratio?
Dropped significantly. It went from nearly 60% down to just under 52%. That signals much better operational health.
That's a huge improvement.
Yeah.
Is that purely efficiency, though? Or is it partly because the smaller, likely less efficient player, Telecell, is shrinking, and the bigger guys are just benefiting from scale?
It's probably a bit of both, hard to disentangle completely, but the key strategic point is they are optimizing costs while the revenue source itself is fundamentally shifting.
Shifting towards data, you mean?
Absolutely. For the first time, internet and data services are the single biggest revenue source. 47.97% of all M&O revenue now comes from data.
Almost half. So data isn't just part of the business model anymore.
It is the business model. Voice and SMS are becoming secondary.
Which loops right back to that investment number, that massive 261% jump in CapEx, hitting ZWG 1.53 billion.
Makes perfect sense now, right? They are pouring money directly into the 5G and LTE infrastructure needed to deliver the service that's generating almost half their income.
Direct line from investment to revenue.
Exactly. Now, quick contrast. The internet access providers, the IAPs, the guys providing the backbone, their revenue grew too, about 4.7%.
Okay.
But their operating costs jumped way faster, up nearly 38%. So while MNOs are getting more efficient, it looks like the cost burden of handling all this exploding traffic might be hitting the underlying infrastructure providers harder.
Interesting dynamic. Okay, so MNOs are all in on mobile data. What about the other side of the coin? The legacy stuff, the fixed sector.
Yeah, that's where you really see the substitution effect hitting hard. Active fixed telephone lines, basically dead flat. A tiny 0.002% increase. Teledensity stuck at 1.92%.
Nobody's rushing out to get a landline.
Not at all. And the actual use of those old lines for voice, the PSTN traffic, it dropped nearly 10% in the quarter.
And the report says why, right?
Clearly, it blames the continued substitution effect of over-the-top or OTT apps.
So WhatsApp calls, Telegram calls, Signal. People are just using their internet connection to make calls instead of the old phone network.
Precisely. Why pay for a landline call when you can do it essentially for free over the data connection you already have? The fixed-line voice model is crumbling.
But hold on, within that fixed category, there was one area that boomed, wasn't there? VSAT.
Ah, yes. Good catch. VSAT subscriptions surged almost 30%.
And the reason?
The report points directly at the continued increase in Starlink subscriptions. So, satellite internet is rapidly becoming the high-growth alternative for fixed connections, especially where fiber isn't available.
And we finally have data showing Starlink's market impact, right? A new metric.
Yes, first time they've reported fixed data traffic shares like this. Liquid is still the biggest player, no surprise, with about 62% of the market.
But Starlink?
Starlink already holds 22.54% of the fixed data traffic market. That's over a fifth of the 372 petabytes used.
Wow. That's incredibly fast penetration for a relatively new service.
It really is. Took traditional players decades to build that kind of share. On the related topic of international links, overall capacity grew slightly, 1.55%, thanks to upgrades from PowerTel and Dandamutam.
But the Starlink traffic isn't counted in those international figures yet.
Not yet. The report notes they're still figuring out how to accurately measure and incorporate Starlink's international bandwidth use, given its different architecture. So the real international capacity might be even higher than reported.
Okay, let's tackle that postal paradox now. Everything's going digital, data's exploding, yet physical mail and packages are up almost 39%. How?
It is genuinely counterintuitive, isn't it? But the numbers are stark. International outgoing letters went up over 600%.
600%.
Yeah. Domestic postal letters up 44%. Domestic courier up almost 45%. Things are definitely moving.
So is this all just e-commerce finally hitting critical mass? People ordering stuff online that needs delivering? Or something else?
It has to be largely e-commerce, right? Digital activity driving physical logistics. It shows how interconnected things are. You order online, but a van still has to bring the box.
True. But while volume is up, the actual physical footprint is shrinking.
Correct. The number of physical outlets dropped from 516 to 494. And the report says that's entirely down to FedEx closing 22 courier outlets, so fewer places to drop off or pick up packages, even as more packages are moving.
Density per outlet gets worse.
Exactly. Now over 31,000 people per outlet, and financially it's still tough for them.
Despite the volume boom. They're investing like crazy, though. CapEx up 432%.
Massive investment, yes. And revenues grew a decent 16%, but they're still losing money overall. The cost-to-income ratio is 107%.
So spending $1.07 for every $1 they bring in.
Right. It improved slightly by 4 percentage points, so they're heading in the right direction and optimizing things. But across the licensed operators, profitability is still elusive despite the volume growth.
Okay, let's try and pull this all together. What are the big strategic takeaways from this quarter's report?
I think there are two main forces defining everything. First, it's an undeniable full pivot to data. You see it in the consumer behavior, the massive streaming, and you see it in the M&O reaction. The huge capex on 5G and LTE.
Data is king.
Undisputed. Second, the flip side. Traditional fixed voice is rapidly becoming obsolete. It's being structurally replaced by internet-based alternatives, whether that's OTT apps like WhatsApp or new fixed access like Starlink's VSA.
The future looks fast and data-driven. The report mentions this infrastructure laying the groundwork for things like IoT, AI, machine learning.
Yeah, the potential is huge. They're building the pipes for the next generation of technology.
But there's a sting in the tail. A warning.
A crucial one. This rapid digitalization, all this connectivity, it inevitably opens the door wider for cybercrime. The risks are increasing in step with the technology.
Financial fraud, you mean?
That, but also sophisticated social engineering. The report specifically flags things like phishing fake emails, trying to get your details, phishing, which is voice phishing over calls, baiting, tempting you with malicious downloads, and scareware tricking you into installing fake security software that's actually malware.
So the threats are getting smarter, just as the networks get faster. Which brings us to our final thought for you, the listener. We've seen this massive 261% surge in infrastructure spending, building these incredibly fast networks. At the same time, the report explicitly warns about rising, sophisticated digital threats like phishing and vishing. So the question is, what kind of gap do you think exists between the speed at which this technology is being deployed and the user education needed to actually keep people safe from these kinds of social engineering scams? Think about that balanced tech speed versus human preparedness as we all navigate this increasingly digital world.
Thank you for tuning in to Tech Pulse by iTro Digital. We hope you enjoyed our exploration of the latest trends, groundbreaking innovations, and key developments in the tech world. Remember, the future is always unfolding, and we're here to help you stay informed. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights and discussions. Until next time, keep innovating, and let's discover what's next together.